All right. So ready? Yeah. What are we waiting for? How are we waiting already, Elisa? To write what? No, you don't have to write all this because you'll get a copy of it later. Ah, okay, yeah, these ones, yes. So let's do them together though. Let's start with the product rule. That's the easiest one. So if I'm multiplying the two bases, what do I do to the exponents? Add them, exactly. So I add exponents. Then I've got the quotient rule. So if I am dividing the base, I subtract. Exactly, you guys got it. And then the last one is, it's called power rule. I like to think of it as like power of a power. So I have something that's already to an exponent, and then I raise it to another exponent. What do I do then? Multiply the exponents, exactly. Okay, and now I will wait, Lisa, and let you finish writing it down. Man, there's a lot of wind today. It's like crazy wind. All right, we good? Good? Ladies, you good? All righty. So let's actually go through and like write this out with a bit of an example, right? So when I'm doing these, I'm going to take this, and it would be x to the a plus b, right? That's all I can do there because it's a and b. What if I had an example? Let's go like x squared x to the 5th. That would become x to the 7th. You got it. Perfect. Okay, for quotient, x to the a minus b. If we use the same two numbers, let's see how you do with negatives. So this would be what? Is it x to the 3 or x to the negative 3? Negative 3, right? Because it's going to be the top one minus the bottom one. Okay? Now, just to throw it out there, remember I could also write this like that, because I can cross the line and flip the sign of the exponent. Okay? Power rule is going to be x to the ab, which if we had like x squared 5th, now it's x to the 10th, not x to the 7th, because we've got to multiply them. Okay? Hopefully this is like coming back to you a little bit. A little bit?
Yes.
Everyone except Nava is remembering. All right, let's do the power of a product. So if I'm multiplying, only if I'm multiplying, you guys. If I'm adding, I cannot do this. This only works if they're multiplied, or divided, I guess. Then this is the same as being x to the a, y to the a. Only because they're multiplied. Okay, if it's x plus y, I cannot do that. It's something totally different. So if we did it with, let's use the same numbers, I guess. Like what we're using, 2 and 5, so it's just 2. This is the same as saying x squared, y squared. So I can distribute that exponent in only if they're multiplied or divided. So on that note, that means this one would be the same. It would be x to the a over y to the a. Okay? Again, only because they are multiplied or divided. So this is the same as x squared over y squared. At least am I going too fast or am I okay? No? All right. Good. Negative, we already did that one. What is the negative? How do we get rid of that negative? Exactly. So we put it down onto the bottom and we make that negative a positive. Okay? So if I had like x to the negative 2, that's the same as 1 over x squared. Okay? Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that it also works if it's already on the bottom. So if I had like 1 over x to the negative 5th, that is the same as being x to the 5th, right? Because I would cross the line, put it on top, and make it positive. Does that make sense? Yeah? Cool. Hey? All right. Zero exponent. Hopefully you remember that one. Anything to the power of zero. What is it? Half of you are right. It's 1. Yeah. Anything times 0 is 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Except 0. 0 to the power of 0 is not 1. Okay? But we don't really get into that here. And so this will be like, you can do any number you want. I don't know. Matthias, give me some big number, man.
36.
That's big. Okay. 36 to the power of 0 is 1. Right? I was thinking you were going to go like 36,000 or something. All right. Now, fractional exponents, this is roots. So this is the same as the 8th root of x. Okay? So if I had x to the 1/5, that is the same as the 5th root of x. Right? So we can go back and forth between those. Now, what about if I have like a over b? Well, that would mean that it's the bth root, and then it's to the power of a. So if I have x to the 2/5, that is the 5th root of x squared. Now, keep in mind, I could also write it this way if you prefer. Whatever way is more comfortable for you, they both mean the same thing. Okay? Any questions about any of those, or do they all make sense? We're all good? Are you remembering some of them from previous? Because none of this is new, right? Like technically you've learned all this. The idea is just to remember how to do it before we get into calculus. All right, so let's do some. Max, you must know what you're doing. You're already like talking to them. What is this first one? M to the power of what?
8.
8, right? Because we add them, exactly. Don't worry about it just yet, because when you have the paper, yes. Right now it's okay, but I'll get you to do the practice one, okay? Let's go with Geronimo. What's this one?
X to the -3.
Perfect. All right, then here we get a little bit trickier. We've got both of them in there. Let's go with Juan Martin. What do I get just for the x's to start with? I think you said it. You're just quiet. So this is y to the 5th, x to the set. Here, I'll zoom in. But we're not doing the. We can't mix these two. It's the 7 and the -1. They have to both be the ones on the x. So you add them. What'd you get? Yeah, exactly. And then our y. Let's go with Mar. So I've got y to the 5th times y to the 5th. Perfect. Okay, and when we start adding a whole bunch more, guys, it's still the same thing. So the first one I'm going to do here is all of the numbers. Now, even though that doesn't look like there's a number, it's -1. Okay? Luciana, what is that going to be then when I combine 5, 10, and -1? -50. Perfect. See? All right, and then I'm going to combine all of my s's. So s squared, s to the 4th, s to the 6th. Let's go with Alejandro.
12.
Perfect. Why are we laughing at him? He's right. And then we've got the r's. Now, if there's nothing written here above the r, what is there?
1.
A 1. Perfect. Exactly. Nicolas, what is that one going to be? So r to the 5th times r to the -5th. Do I need to write the 1? No. Nicholas, you threw your voice so well there. Was that you? Who said it? Oh, it was this one. All right, guys, here's what I want you to do now. Okay? Even though we don't have the paper, you can do it on the whiteboards on your desk or on the paper if you have it. I want you guys to try these 3. Yeah? Yeah, take your phone and take a picture. That's fine. All right, guys, do those 3. You're supposed to have one, man. Try those. None of them are subtraction. No. Think of this as like, that's like a -6 rather than subtraction. It's like multiplying, but it's negative. Multiplying, but it's negative. Okay?
Era sumativo 50%. Sumativo de proceso no número de nadie.
Alright, but if I don't get it back today. Do all three of them. All three of them. Hey guys, I don't know why, but these are not supposed to be higher. They should be down on the same level. Okay, so here, think of it as like there's a negative here. Dude, what are you doing on my marker? Are they both dripping or just the one? Alright, so there's your answers, so you can check them. Alright, let's try quotient rules. We're going to try some quotient. Alright, so if I'm dividing, now I subtract. So x to the 9 minus 2, 7. Over here, a to the 8 minus 3, that's 5. A little bit trickier here. The 12 divided by 1 is still 12. G to the 8 minus 3 is 5. And h to the 4 minus 5 is -1. Or you could write this with the h on the bottom. They're both correct. Okay? And then let's do this one here. So I'm going to get c to the 9 minus 4 is 5. And it's still over 6. The 6 doesn't move up. The 6 has to stay where it is. Okay? All right. So there's now going to be these three. Does everybody have those written down?
Wait, yes.
Geronimo, I did them fast because they were easy, right? Geronimo's like, screw you. All right. So we're going to go to these ones. And I want you to try and do those ones on your own. All right. There's your answers for you to check. Any questions, or did we get them? We're okay? Because it's b to the 5th over b to the 4, so it's b to the 5 minus 4. So the b would stay on top. If it was like b to the -1, then it would go to the bottom. Okay? Geronimo, you good? All right. One more practice set here. So then we've got power rule, right? So this is when we multiply the exponents this time. So this is going to become x to the power of 12. Exactly, right? 3 times 4. Now this one is going to be multiplied for both. So it's a to the 8, b to the 16. Now here, before you try to get rid of the negative ones, it's easier to distribute that negative one in and then flip if you need to. So this is going to be p to the positive 1, right? Because negative 1 times negative 1. And then q to the negative 5. Or you could write that as p over q to the 5th, right? Because if the q is negative 5, we can cross it down and make it positive. Does that make sense, or any questions? Yep. Hey guys, I can't hear the question. Hold on. Max, just wait. I can't hear the question.
Like if you multiply negative 1 by 1, shouldn't that like be negative and then you like simplify it?
For the like p?
Yeah, for like the negative.
Yes, but it's because it's negative 1 and negative 1. When you multiply them, it's going to become positive. So I could flip it, and then I'd have to flip it again. So it's easier to like distribute and then flip. Okay. All right, our last one here. It's a fraction. Don't freak out. It's just a to the 3 halves. That's all. You're just multiplying 1/2 times 3. All right, I got a few more examples here, so let's do them. You got those down? Yes? All right, so even though this is ax, anything to the power of 0 is what? 1. Good. Over here, right, I'm going to have to put that 5 in. Now, I have to put it on the numbers too. So what's 3 to the power of 5? Well, for now, let's just write it out. 3 to the 5. And then it'll be x to the 10 over 2 to the power of 5, y to the power of 10. But I'm never going to want you to leave it like this. I always want you to simplify that. So that means that I need to figure out what 3 to the power of 5 is. So 3, 9, 27, 81, 243. Okay, so 243, x to the 10 over 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Okay?
32 and y to the power of 10.
Exactly, y to the 10. You got it. Over here, it's the same idea. It's a little bit trickier this time because it's negative 3. So it's not just that it's 3 to the power of 5. So we know it's 243, but this time it's going to be negative 243 because there's 5 negatives, right? Because it's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. Now, the fact that there's a squared here, does that change it? Or is it still going to be negative 3? Still. Because this is not the same as this. This would become positive 9. This is negative 9. Because this means that the negative is squared. This means that only the 3 is squared. Okay? Now, the other thing is that I have no idea what that is. So in this case, we're just going to leave it as negative 3 to the 10 because I don't know what 243 squared is. I have no idea. Okay? And then it'll be x to the power of 30. Make sense? Perfect. All right, guys, I want you to try, what do I got here? 5, so I'll have to zoom out a little bit so you can see them all. There you go. All right, so there's the answer so you can check them. Anybody have questions about any of them? Anything that doesn't make sense? How did I do that last one? Because I'm guessing most of you didn't do it that way. So on this, let's go through the last one because even if you got that answer, my guess is you didn't do it the same way. So you'll remember that earlier I had said make things smaller or make them easier first if you can, right? On the diagnostic test we did. So what I did here is I changed this. What's d to the power of 0? It's 1, so I got rid of it. What is c to the negative 5? Well, it's 1 over c to the 5th. And what's 4 divided by 8? It's really 1/2. Now that it's simpler, I can cube it, and it makes my whole life way easier. You'll get the same answer. If you did 4 cubed over 8 cubed, same thing, just harder. So don't do it harder. Okay? All right, guys, that's it.